when we had an actual incident with a tornado warning, it was after hours, so after 5 p.m. we have certain buildings designated for those faculty, staff, and students to be able to go and be in an underground location. But the notification, the 360-degree notification, allowed us to get word to those people on our campus so that they could take the necessary action. And we got feedback afterwards that it worked, that they heard the announcements and the sirens over the loudspeakers, and then that they were able to get the information through Buffalert.
We live in an area that's prone to tornadoes. We have a railroad that passes relatively near campus. There could be a spill. There could be an individual who is unstable, who's wandering around campus. We could have a fire. There's just so many possibilities that need effective, quick, efficient, accurate communication, both coming to us and going out from us, that it's essential that you have a system that deals with that and deals with it effectively.
Ultimately, the 360-degree communication allows the students to be part of the preparedness. I think in years past, you didn't have as much of a student input or involvement.
The UTIP service was launched this fall semester, and we wanted to take the next step with our emergency notification system, and that was to allow our campus community to send us information.
Probably the best part about UTIP is that we've got about 9,000 students, faculty, and staff on our campus at any given moment. That's 9,000 sets of eyes, and that's people who know things that otherwise would never come to our attention. And providing them an easy, safe way by which they can provide input to us on things that might be of concern is very valuable.
One of the benefits of E2 Campus is it provides us with building blocks to deploy as we need to. So for example, with UTIP, if we received an anonymous tip of a bomb threat in our classroom center, then university, police, or other campus officials can quickly launch U-Conference, which will bring together decision makers and key stakeholders into a conference bridge that can be used as many times as they need to throughout the day to formulate an action plan and make quick decisions when a situation occurs.
In the initial moments after an incident, a tool like U-Conference would help us reach those vital personnel, faculty, that could help us to not only evacuate students and see to their safety, but also clear an area for first responders, and then again for disaster recovery and business continuation as the response phase begins. What I like best about U-Conference is that anytime, day or night, you could set up an automatic conference call with the people in the departments that are going to need to be in constant communication, whether that's facilities, our safety office, university police department, our vice president for business finance, and ultimately the president. Being able to communicate on an instant conference call is going to help us not only with our preparedness, but also with our response and recovery in dealing with a disaster.
The most important thing to consider when you're building an emergency notification system is the less steps that have to be done in order to get the message out, the better.
So E2 Campus helps us streamline communications from one pane of glass. Once we send an alert, it hits all these different channels without any additional overhead on our campus safety officials.
The new feature that E2 Campus has expanded on with the ability to respond to emergency alerts, I think could be very important to us in times of crisis. I know from talking to those individuals that have suffered through incidents on their campus that the ability to get real-time information from those that are in the middle of the emergency is crucial to the quick and efficient resolution of any problem on campus. Due to a recent legislation change in Texas, we now have to have an opt-out system as opposed to an opt-in system, which has been the traditional method.
So the opt-out manager allows us to upload the data for our faculty, staff, and students. It sends them an alert, and it provides them the ability to opt out. It also allows us to do a QA check if there's an error or information in their profile needs to be updated or corrected. It also provides us with a paper trail for those individuals that opted out and that enables us to meet the new requirements under House Bill 2758.
And I'm also convinced that that this is important for every size school. It doesn't matter if you're a large school or a small school. The potential for a crisis is real.
You know, as a chief, I mean, the crux of my job is to make sure that this campus is safe and that everybody goes home when everything's done. And I think that's what I take personally, in that if somebody dies on my watch and it's something that I could have prevented, that's something I'm going to have to live with as an individual, not just as a chief or a university employee. So my goal is if there's something out there that I can use to mitigate the likelihood of a death occurring, then I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to get the funding for that, to put it in place, to keep my community safe. And that's something that I take personal, and I think every chief does. We have to step up and we have to fight for what we know is right, and we've got to keep pushing until they fund these programs and get these things in place to keep our community safe. That's what's going to make the difference in the long run. That's what's going to save lives.